Sir.
With the New York Times, I wanted to ask you about the latest economic news from this morning, with inflation now being under 3%, the lowest rate since mid-2021. What is your sort of reaction to that news?
Well, I think the crowd reaction says it all. Look, when they say that inflation is down, they mean from a baseline where groceries are already 30% more expensive than they were when Donald Trump was president. And they're not saying it's coming down, they're just saying it's not going up as fast as it was 3 years ago. That is not a reputation or a record to brag on, that's a record to be ashamed of. Why did it take them so long to get inflation to where it is, and why are prices so high? It's because Kamala Harris failed to do her job. So if they want to go around, and this is, you know, it's funny. Kamala Harris, on the one hand, will say, on day one, we're going to tackle the affordability crisis. And like I said earlier, Kamala Harris has been the vice president for 3.5 years. And I think, ladies and gentlemen, she's in effect been the acting president, because we all know Joe Biden isn't home. So she's been the one controlling government policy for 3.5 years. She says she wants to tackle the affordability crisis on day one. And then on the other hand, she'll say, oh, we've already got inflation under control. Well, which is it, Kamala? Which is it? The simple truth is American credit card debt is getting higher. Americans are finding the basic necessities of middle-class life less affordable. Americans are becoming, especially young people, are becoming paupers in their own country. If we don't do better, our young generation, they're not going to own anything. They're not going to have anything. They're going to be renters in the country that their parents and grandparents built. Inflation is a disaster. Kamala Harris does not have a leg to stand on.
Economic experts aren't going to decide the election. Actual working class American voters are, and they know full well how much more expensive their life is today than it was under Donald Trump. She's going to have a very difficult time, the vice president, getting any separation from President Biden on this, because she cast the tie-breaking vote in the U.S. Senate to put a $1.9 trillion stimulus into the U.S. economy. It was at that point that inflation took off back in 2021, and that was one of two key issues that Biden and Harris's approval ratings under 40% for most of this presidency. So I don't think she's going to be able to get away from Biden on it. She had a direct hand in it, and people well remember how they felt economically under Trump and how they have felt economically for 4 years under Biden and Harris, and that comparison looms large. Trump has to make the case, but it's right there. People haven't forgotten that things were better economically under Trump, and it shows up in all the polling when you ask people if they approve of the job Trump did on the economy when he was president.
Democrats are trying to mislead voters. As you saw from the intro, inflation has cooled off. It's not rising as fast as it did before, right? And I wanted to point out these two people. The introduction is that Scott Jennings, which was the last intro that I played before I began talking, he pointed out a very important fact about the stimulus package that Joe Biden passed. And Joe Biden merely passed a stimulus package for political reasons. Because I have pointed out numerous times in my videos how that stimulus check wasn't needed because we were already opening up the economy. And that bill attributed to most of the inflation that we're experiencing today. And Kamala Harris was the deciding vote for that. But, you know, liberal media, as you saw from the intro, is trying to mislead voters and telling them, oh, look, inflation is down. No, the rate of inflation is down. And the rate, inflation stacks, people. If you want to think about inflation, when they say the inflation rate is up 1.4%, think of it like you stack another piece of paper on top of the pile. Instead of being nine plates stacking on top of inflation, now they're saying like 2 plates are stacking in front of inflation. But this is still what you're paying. That's still the difference. And this is why I laugh so hard at these people, because I'm like, yo, these people are literally trying to misinformed in voters, because they know the Democrat Party, I'm going to keep making this point, they rely on ignorant voters. And once I make my case, I'm going to react to a video of Anton Daniels debating a Harris supporter and asking, okay, what policies does this person list out? Some policies that this person believes in. And this goes to show, it only proves my argument, only validates my argument. But before we go into this, I want to show you some examples of how Democrats are misleading voters. Anew, Kamala Harris' presidential campaign is misrepresenting news articles in Google searches, making them appear like endorsements. All Sides has found. All Sides was the first one to break it. I didn't look. I saw this. I could have been the one to break this, but I was like, no, let me wait for more information to come out. and they were proven right, as I'm about to show you right now. Hey, all sides probably broke the viral story about the Harris campaign, rewriting news headlines, right? All sides, like here, I don't recommend most news sites, but if you're tired of media bias, all sides is your person. They have a good sourcing of both what the left is saying and what the right is saying, and that's how usually I use them to make my video. So if you want unbiased news, I will tell you go over there. If you want objective information, now you're gonna get my subjective, my you're gonna get my framing about this whole Kamala Harris situation, is because these liberals, like, they live on projection. Sorry, I'm looking for the next clip to go. But before I go, look at this clip from Korean Jean-Pierre, the press secretary for the Biden administration, and see how Kamala is trying to distance herself from them when she was a part of key decisions that created the inflation that we all are experiencing today. Let's take a look at the clip.
Learned that Vice President Harris wants to distance herself from Bidenomics.
Why do you think that?
Axios is now reporting that she is hoping to distance herself from President Biden's unpopularity on the economy. Can you blame her?
Do you know this is the Biden-Harris administration? Are you aware that this is the Biden-Harris administration? And she is indeed the vice president.
But if the president's policies on the economy were working, or if they were popular, wouldn't he still be the candidate?
You literally just had the chair of the CEA here who laid out a pretty robust point by point about the economy and what has happened under the Biden-Harris administration. And I thought it was pretty convincing. Look, as far as anything that the vice president wants to do, or as she's talking about her policy that's campaign related, you would have to speak to her. One thing that I know for sure is that this president, this vice president are fighting very hard to make sure that the middle class is stronger. They wanted to make sure that we're working to cut taxes for the middle class, for working people, slashing cost for working families, as you have seen them do over and over again. This is something that we believe in. You heard Jared talk about announcements this week about lowering cost, and that is something that they believe in. And the contrast could not be more stark between, if anything, the contrast is between what Republicans want to do, MAGAnomics. You're talking about Bidenomics. MAGAnomics supercharge inflation. That's what they want to do. Raise taxes on the middle class by thousands of dollars. Send tax cuts through the roof. Protect corporate price gouging. Cut Social Security. Cost millions their health care. And heap tax giveaways on billionaires and big corporations. That's the division there. That's where there's really night and day. Night and day.
America, who you trust more? What your pocketbook is saying or what the experts are saying? I'll wait. My pocketbook says, yo, Kenny, your costs almost double. And I got 2 kids and a wife. So your costs almost double, Kenny. That's what my budget keeps telling me every time I look at it month to month. This is why I say mainstream media is like, mainstream media, 97% of them are Democrats. U.S. journalists, 97% of U.S. journalists are Democrats. This is why I labeled the video, Democrats are misleading voters. Because they are. She makes all these claims about Donald Trump. Oh, he wants to raise your taxes. He wants to give tax breaks to the rich. Donald Trump wants to give tax cuts to everybody. No tax on tips. Remember that? That's for the working hospitality class. He wants to bring manufacturing back. Like, where did he get? This is my problem with the Democratic left. They live in imagination instead of living in reality. The reality is Trump wants no tax on Social Security. You don't believe me? Here's a clip.
On Social Security. This cruel double taxation of Social Security benefits, and this has been talked about for a long time. She'll probably announce this on Friday, too. Oh, look, they have a spy in the audience right over there. He's spying. Let's see, Kamala, I think we should do no tax on Social Security. But it only came into existence in 1984, and at that time, it only affected a very small number of recipients. But now, nearly half of all seniors are forced to pay income tax on Social Security, and thanks to inflation under Harris, she is horrible. This tax hits more seniors every year, more and more, and they can't make it. They're not making it. They're failing. You know, the people that did it right, they saved, they worked, they saved and saved. Those are the people that were hurt most by this kind of thinking and this economy. With your vote, I will end this injustice, and I will always protect Social Security and Medicare for our great seniors, just as I did for 4 incredible years. There was never.
So like where's Jean here getting this idea of him going to cut Social Security? He's trying to cut taxes on Social Security, right? That helps the working class. And the funny part is, allegedly, this is something I haven't done my research, but I remember, I think Joe Biden passed that bill. Actually, I think he drafted the bill. Joe Biden drafted the bill that taxed Social Security. Maybe someone will fact check me in the comment section, but I think that's true if I'm remembering correctly. So you people, oh, he's gonna tax this. The reason why the only way you tax the poor is if you're trying to supplement more government spending. Remember when Donald Trump said that he wanted to cut tax on tips, and the first negative story that the media put out against that policy proposal is the United States government will lose $20 billion if Donald Trump enacts no tax on tips. So if you have a spending problem, there's only two things you can fix that spending problem. Either you spend less, which Democrats are not known for. They pass a $1.9 trillion bill. $1.9 trillion bill in 2021. So they're not going to do that. So what are they going to do? Raise more money. How you raise more money? Tax people. So the Democrats are more incentivized to tax the middle class, the lower middle class, more than the Republicans are. Republicans are like, no, we want responsible spending. We want cost effectiveness. We want to remove the Department of Education, because these things will save us money that we can give more back to the American people. We don't need as much of a budget to support the government benefits that are been piling on. Right? Affordable Care Act. You put Medicare. We're paying for Obamacare $858 billion. And is healthcare affordable, people? No. So why are we spending $850 billion for a product, for a service that's not doing what it was supposed to do? Make it make sense, America. If you pay for a subscription service that you're not watching, you're not using anymore, can you justify continually spending month after month after month that service? No. A smart person will be like, let me cancel my subscription. That's all Trump wants to do. When he wants to close the Department of Education, it's because that the Department of Education did not do its job. How is it that you create the Department of Education? We were number one in education. After you create the Department of Education in the federal level, 24th in education in 2008. How is the quality of our education going down when we institute a system that was supposed to make it maintain its status? Make it make sense. But this is Democrat policies for you. And the biggest reason why I believe American voters are being misled is the fact that look at all these corporations, employees who have donated to Biden versus Trump. Look at this. Look at this. Some of these names, Amazon, Bank of America, USSA, AT&T, U.S. Department of Defense. Bro, the blue bubble, right? Here's a fact check for you guys, because I'm showing you examples how the Democrats are trying to mislead you. The fact check of your fact check. President Trump announced an executive order in May 2020 capping the cost of insulin to $35. One of Biden's first acts as president was repealing this executive order so that they could take credit for it. Semantics. This is the same thing I told you before, is that Trump put a executive order. They push all that out. Biden spent his first 100 days as president literally pushing out all of Trump's executive orders. Then later on, he'll pass it. Oh, look, I made history here. Because look, this is how the Kamala Harris campaign is lying. Trump, $35 insulin. I did that. I did the insulin. Fact check. This is a blatant lie. Donald Trump did not cap insulin. Lie. Biden Harris did for seniors through the Inflation Reduction Act. Trump Project 2025. Another lie. That's not Trump's policy platform. This is the truth. If they had said Trump's Agenda 47 wants to repeal it, that would have been a fact. But it's not a fact. Because if you look at Trump's platform, you do not see any instance about him repealing any bill. I'm supposed to believe the Democrats. When the Democrats call Trump a liar in chief. No, y'all liars. Y'all the parties of lies and deception. This is why I said Democrats can't win on their own merits, bro. They rely on deception. I just proved it to you. The campaign sponsored ads to give themselves a favorable headline to trick people into thinking, oh, these news organizations endorsing Kamala. She must be a good president. This is the lies and deception of the left. And they expect you to sit here and listen to them. Sit here and trust them. Right? Now, I know I've been bashing Harrison supporters. I know some people don't like the fact that I've been bashing Harrison supporters. But my only thought is, you can't pretend to be a victim if you're knowledgeable about what you're doing. And a lot of people I see, they're supporting Kamala Harris. And then, like, just like Joe Biden, remember, black women were cheering. Hey, we're the reason Joe Biden won. Oh, you sure about that? You sure you want to take credit for Joe Biden? Because now look at it. Now you got black women crying about how they can't afford rent, how they have to pick between eating or the electric bill. But they voted for Joe Biden. They complain about migrant crimes. Illegal immigrants are raising crime in our areas. We already had high crime rates, but illegals are making it worse. Who you voted for, black woman? Oh, Joe Biden. Y'all about to do the same ish again with Kamala Harris. I make it known in this channel. If you look it up, being single, being able to live by yourself will be a luxury in this country based on the way inflation is going. But single women still want to vote for Kamala Harris. Okay. This is what I'm saying. People are being misled by the media, being misled by Democrats, being misled by Google, who employees majority donate to the Democratic Party. I expose the bias time after time after time, but these people, I don't know why is it that it seems like moderates are more trusting of Democrats than they are of Republicans. And I believe it's because of the fact that majority of U.S. journalists are Democrats and they push a favorable view on Democrats. So moderate people are more left-leaning than they are right-leaning. That's the observation that I have noticed. But before I end off this video, I promised you a reaction. What is your reason for backing Kamala Harris? This is a question asked on a panel, and we're going to take a look.
What are the reasons you're backing Kamala? What policies do you agree with?
So, my first thought process is, I would want to make sure that I have an understanding, or obviously I'm new to this and on this platform, but in reading in the audience.
See, when people go, Kamala's selling hope, I'm like, hope ain't gonna pay your bills. Hope ain't gonna help you afford groceries. Hope is not gonna take care of your family. Solutions are, processes are. And the only way you can get to solutions and processes is through what? Say it with me, people, policy. You can't vote on hope. Politics is, look, I'm gonna be real about politics, right? Thomas Sowell, the great Thomas Sowell, my mentor. I consider him my distant mentor. You cannot expect saviors. No savior is coming for you. No one's going to come save you from your situation. So there's no point for a politician to sell hope to you. That is a lie. All a politician can do is set the rules. Hey, look, these are the rules. Referee, aka the government, enforce these rules. We want rules where people don't cheat. Okay, we're going to put out a punishment if you cheat. So we put out an incentive structure where it makes it harder for people wanting to do those actions. All the government can really do is set the table. Only you can save yourself. This is why I'm a Frederick Douglass conservative. Government, do nothing for me. Get out of my way. That used to be the spirit of black people. But now we're some of the most helpless. You got black women out here. Oh my God, we will never be successful without affirmative action. Lie. I don't believe that. Black people were going to college before affirmative action. After affirmative action was passed, the black college rate, the college dropout rate for black people increased after affirmative action was implemented in the 1960s. So it goes to show that these policies don't benefit you. It just sounds good. And that's one of the reasons I became a conservative, because Democrats like to run on what sounds good. Conservatives tell you what is feasible and what is practical. If you're not and that's politics. Politics is supposed to be what is feasible. I don't care about the desirability of your policy proposals. Is it practical? Is it feasible to implement? If not, I can't vote for you. No matter how much it sounds. Free healthcare for all. Okay, how are you going to go about that? When you have to increase taxes on everyone to support that? How you could justify increasing more spending? Because remember, the trade-off with government benefits is inflation. Government spending creates inflation.
But I do want to have an understanding that the administration signs in the bills and they do specific executive orders in regards to policies and laws, but the people that have these conversations and do the work is Congress. So I understand that we like to say Kamala and Biden and Trump, but I don't view it as that. So I just want to put that out there. I go based on the Congress and people that do that type of work. But
imagine she don't even understand how government works. And I think this is a lot of voters. If you ask, hey, how's the bill? Who proposes the bill? The House. Who reviews the bill? The Senate. who actually instantiates and accepts and implements the bill from the executive office? The president. So no matter how she tries to spin it, oh, I blame Congress and the Senate more than I blame the president. The president still has to give the the final sign off for that bill to be implemented in our government.
One reason that I would support and vote for Kamala outside of the policy when I get to it is Trump is stating that he wants to be a dictator. So I don't want a
He said that jokingly. I'll be a dictator on day one, and then I won't be one anymore. Jokes, like, come on, bro. The Democrats pick and choose when they want to take someone literally. You want to vote for me? You ain't black. Oh, he didn't mean that. Joe Biden. Look, if you took Joe Biden literally, you can make him sound racist. But what the media do? Oh, he was joking. He didn't mean that. Come on, guys. He was just being hyperbolic. He was getting, he's a jokester. It just didn't come across well. That's what the media will do with Joe Biden. Donald Trump said, I'll be a dictator on day one, jokingly. And after that, I will be no more. Oh, no, they take him literally then. You see, this is what I'm talking about. The inconsistencies with the media. And the fact that I know that most of them are Democrats and they doing this game, I see it as a bias. I digress. I'm done. I'm done pausing.
form of government where one person is just running the country or wanting to get rid of the Constitution, which the country was founded on. So, I mean, that is a big reason why I would want to make sure that I'm voting for the other candidate, because I don't want that to happen to democracy, because I live and work within the democracy as being an elected official. But outside of that, I respect the fact of her encouragement or platform of having diversity and equal representation, meaning we need to get more Black and brown people elected to office.
Well, let me ask this question: is electing more black and brown people going to solve the problems that Americans are facing? Not really. If you hire someone just because they're black and brown, would that be less likely or more likely to solve your problems in America? We don't know. But I'm gonna lean towards more unlikely. Oh, I just hired you because I want more diversity and representation. How is that supposed to help me pay my bills? How is that supposed to help costs go down? We know it's tied to government spending. Does optics matter that much to American people? That's my question. Does optics really matter this much to the point where you are willing to suffer another 4 years of high inflation just so you can have a diverse representation in government? What's the point of having a diverse representation of government and it ends up being the worst administration ever? You want black people to be tied to that? Oh, hell no. This is the crap that they're running on. This is what you're voting for? That's why I say it's the Harris administration is all flash, no substance. But people want to get mad. Okay.
I care about the fact of her health care, because Black women die at a high rate when it comes to medical.
Okay, look, you ain't dying of medical service because of racial discrimination or all this racism and crap. Black women have one of the highest obesity rates out of all groups of people in this country. I think whites are a close second, or they're first. Y'all competing. Whites and blacks competing for the highest obesity rate, if I remember correctly. And obesity is a condition where you're more at risk of dying. It don't matter what the medical service, even childbirth. You're more likely to die or have complications if you're an obese person. Black women have the highest obesity rate, and therefore they're more likely to die or suffer serious harm from medical services. That's just a fact. But she want to try to make it seem like it's racism.
Services. I also want women's rights. I shouldn't have to sit here and fight for my rights or my daughter's rights to be able to, if they choose to have an abortion, if
AKA kill if something's wrong with my
something's
kid.
wrong with the child. These are just little things. The Voters Act, those are things that I feel I want to see replicated in our country, and that's not what the other side has on their platform.
This is insane. This is absolutely insane.
Agreed.
She started off her narrative about what it is that she didn't like about Trump again. And usually what I've come to conclude is that most people do that because she doesn't have policy.
Ding, 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 ding. So you expect me to vote for a convicted felon? Me, I'm voting for Agenda 47. Like, I don't care what narrative, I don't care your spin, I don't care your framing of Trump, I don't care what imagination you have of Trump. I'm voting for reality. I'm voting for Agenda 47. What are you voting for? The first virus? I'm voting for Data, Beta, Divine Nine. Ricky Smiley ass. Like, yo, come on. Politics is a serious game. This is not music theater. It's not a popularity contest. This is your life. Politics, you may not care about politics, but politics definitely care about you. And that is the reality I've noticed, right? Because when I asked my mom this question, she talking about how bad Trump is. I said, Mom, how bad is Trump that you are struggling as a single mom, paying your bills, yet you want to blame Trump? Like, either he's good for you. Who cares about his personality, Mom? Look at his policies. I said, you don't even know what policies that Kamala's going to run on. Silence. Go turn it right back to about Trump again. This is what makes Harrison supporters so frustrating. Because you're trying to have a debate about policy, about implementation, about approach, and they can't have it. And they have the goal to call black men ignorant for supporting Trump when your candidate don't even have a policy. Whenever someone who is an avid Harrison supporter come on a platform, they embarrass themselves and your whole political party. And the Democrats mislead voters because Democrats know that they can get away with it. And I think that's the unfortunate conclusion that I am coming to. Let me know your conclusions about this my whole angle on this. Do you think I'm right? Do I think I'm wrong? Or are you more in the middle? I'd like to hear your thoughts in the comment section below. Don't forget to like, comment, subscribe. I appreciate you guys watching to the end of the video. And I'll catch you guys on the next one. Peace.